Hello, hello, my green skins. This is Orc War Chief, and I'm here with Shaningan, as always.
Hello.
And we are talking about Darkman, the very first movie. We're not talking about the other ones because the other ones get kind of bad,
I wouldn't know.
like really bad.
This is the
I
first
would,
time I've seen them.
yeah, I won't talk about the other movies. Although I do like these. This movie was really quite well done. And I kind of like this one. I don't know what Shaningan thinks, but I guess we'll find out. So let's first start with the usual. I believe we usually start with music. What did you think of the music?
Uh, that's one thing I'm not very impressed by. And before everyone goes, "Oh my God, it's Danny Elfman! How could you not like it?" Exactly. I feel like he does the same music in every movie that he's worked on. Like it's like a copy paste Batman '89.
You know what? I gotta say this about this, and that's where I'm okay. This is before Danny Elfman kind of got known for doing the same thing over and over and over again. I thought it was pretty good, and it was very good for the scene for some of the scenes. I did like some of the interesting moments, some of the music and stuff. It did have its times. It's interesting for that. It's very. It's not great. Oh, I'm not going to say it's great. It's not his best work, but it was pretty good. And you are right on a little bit that there's a little shot almost sound for sound verbatim from Batman '89. I believe he even used that stupid weird flutter he likes to do sometimes, like in the Batman movies.
Yeah, he did,
I'm
and
certain. I certain.
it's just that I guess objectively, I guess it's good, but well, that's just my opinion. I guess it's subjective, no matter how you look at it. But I say if I hadn't heard it before, I would have probably enjoyed it a little more. But a, it's not the style of music I normally listen to regularly, and second, I've heard it so many times before. So if you're familiar with Danny Elfman's works and other movies he's done, it's gonna feel like a
Yeah.
copy paste project. I mean, I'm familiar with Vince DiCola, for example,
Mm.
yet he and even though he has a distinct style and sound, he does you wouldn't know automatically unless I told you that he's the same guy who composed Rocky 4 and Transformers the movie.
Yeah, you could. You well.
Like you are being
That's
unless I
debate.
told you.
Yeah, that's debatable. Some music guys have their signature. Danny was at that era. He kind of just kept on doing the same thing over and over and over again. He does switch up his music, but it's not. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into too much to the guy's thing because the music because that's not what we're more here about the music of this very movie. Now let's get to I guess scene work. What did you think of the scene work?
Um, Scene work. What do you mean by that? I don't know that term.
Like how the scenes were shot, like the actual shots and stuff.
I guess some action scenes were done well, but
Yeah.
they were fine. Yeah, like the helicopter scene. I'm not gonna spoil who or why or what's going on there, but that was pretty good. Um,
That was fun as fuck. Like there's a lot of scenes in this movie that are so much fun.
but
And
I just feel there are some
go ahead.
scenes where he tries to be sad or melancholy or invoke some emotions. Like yeah, Sam Raimi, that's not his best. He's not the best at doing
Uh,
that.
Actually, this is where I disagree. This is one of the few times I think Sam Raimi actually did it pretty good. There's a lot of scenes that he did that it does feel very comic booky. You can almost shot for shot comic book, comic book, comic book.
Yes, comic booky. I
So
guess that's the problem I have with this movie. It's too comic booky, and I don't mean that in a
yeah,
good
but
way.
I believe in it. I believe we're actually losing that to this gritty crap that's actually making comic book movies garbage. I think this is actually it's a dark movie with a comic book feel.
Well, that's the
Now
problem. That's the problem with superhero movies. There's always an era of a style. like there's no variety. Like, oh, this is gritty, this is happy, this is
no,
more
no,
bleak.
no. There is variety. I think this had some great variety. I think there's a lot of stuff in here that's actually very good. That's where I disagree with you. I think you've been drowned by the comic book movies, and I think that's kind of tweaking your attitude towards us a little bit. Me personally, I think this is actually better than what came out recently. Other than a few of them, I didn't mind Doctor Strange just because it was a trip to watch, and there's some really cool scene work, but it wasn't that annoying, winking at the audience that I'm actually getting sick and tired of the winking at the audience. I'm actually getting sick and tired of all the other stuff. Like, I think the Marvel movies, you literally could fucking you can literally guidebook those movies at this point. And
Well, if we're gonna
it's
if we're gonna make play
it's
the
garbage
comparing
for the mind.
if we're gonna play the comparing game between old comic book movies and new comic book movies, well, we're gonna be here all day. I think it's a case by case thing, but I will say that most modern comic book movies or superhero movies or whatever you want to call them, they don't catch my interest. They don't. For someone who's not a fan of these things, like I have no reason to. These movies don't make me want to check out the source materials, and I don't even like the source materials enough to check out the movies. So the cycle has no beginning point for me because no matter where
Okay.
you point me, it's just I have no interest minus a few
Okay.
titles,
So
very few.
so let's get to the two big ones. The acting. What did you think of the acting in this? And that's I'm going to be very surprised to hear how you think of this one.
I think it
I think we're
has
going to be night and day on this one.
uh comic booky is the only way I can describe this. I mean, this is Sam Raimi. This is him. His Spider-Man style is in this movie. The characters being so, haha, yeah.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, but okay.
What movie were
I
you
think
watching?
it's
Did I watch a different version of the movie that you didn't?
no. There are moments that are very reminiscent of the old Shadow. See, that's the thing. It amalgamated a couple forms. I kind of got that vibe that this was kind of going in the form of the Shadow. If you ever listened to the music for the Shadow or the Phantom, the old 50s, bam bam bam, those ones, today the Shadow, and that I think that was more like that, and that's kind of why I had that. Like it does. It's actually very romantic. I will admit I have a little bit of nostalgia goggles for this movie because it's this Batman and a couple others that I really think are really well done. I like the superheroes that aren't super. I like the heroes that play tricks and do smart things. I thought this was really well done, and there was moments in there that were just really well good. I think some of the scenes with I think this is like Liam Neeson. Some of his acting is really good. I also think this movie's batshit insane.
This movie's an acid trip. I gotta be honest. And
We haven't gotten to the acid trip. I can't wait to show you a movie that's coming up. Um,
but one of the
but
scenes that really got me um, scratching my head was the carnival scene, which I won't spoil. But the way it was shot, it was like, is this trying to be a comedy because it's trying to be serious, but it's also trying to be funny at the same time, and just
it's
fails
because
miserably at either.
it's the delusion. It's actually I like it because it's almost okay. Remember, he's hallucinating. He isn't exactly all there anymore. His mind is fucked.
No, he reminded me when I was watching that scene. I was like, did I get into a dramatic Hal moment in Malcolm in the Middle? That's what it reminded me
No.
of.
Okay.
The pink elephant.
I can't. It's insane. It's insane. It's insane. But it makes sense because understand in his mind, he no longer has those things anymore. He's like, this is a guy with PTSD, everything that's happened to him, all the pain, all this fucking sorrow. If you've dealt with anyone with PTSD, if you've dealt with anybody that's had those issues where they just randomly snap and go wacky, and that's pretty much what that was. That's literally to the wire. That felt like this is someone that just went insane. It's someone that isn't well. He's not a well man. This is a man who's gone completely off the deep end. This is a man who's destroyed for no fucking apparent reason other than being destroyed.
I just think there's
Everything
a
was
better way
so every
to have shot that, but the way they chose to do it just felt very cheesy and very cartoony.
and that was kind of the point. He was tortured. Like he was literally tortured. This man has nothing left. Like he's slowly trying to get something, but he slowly has nothing left. It's a dark movie. It's actually perfect for, like I said, it's a great partial movie. It has its moments, and that's what makes it good for that those scenes. Now, I guess we'll get to, because this is the special effects, because there are really good special effects in here, and there are really awful special effects.
Yeah,
What do you
there's
think of the special effects?
oh, there are some really awkward blue screen effects. Just wow, they could
Yeah,
not get the edges dark. You could like see the white lines. I mean, the white hue on the edges.
yeah. Oh yeah. There are some really awful ones, but then the practical effects, like him wearing that fucking, it's really good. We're dealing with a guy who is been, I can give a little bit of a spoiler here. You're dealing with a man who's so burnt up, like his entire face is like, it's like a Phantom of the Opera thing going on with this poor guy, and it looks hideous. It looks terrifying, and I heard rumors. I don't know if this is true, but I heard a long time ago a friend of mine said to me, I kind of wish it was. Apparently, they went to burn victims. Like apparently, one of the guys went to a burn victim ward to have a look, just to see how, like, because it's the burns and the physical thing. Like this guy's, it just looks awful, but it looks hideous. Like, and they did a really good job of that. I think that's what made it good.
I think there were a couple of problems. Not
Like, imagine acting in that. Imagine acting in that.
I think that they should have. There were some scenes where the makeup and the burn just, especially in the front part, like when he's unmasked, it didn't look right. It's like they should have kept it hidden, like well, not overly hidden, but they should have kept some shadowing on it because you could tell the
Yeah, like
budget
I
was
said,
not
it's a
very
mixed
high for this
bag, right?
movie. Yeah, the budget for this movie
Yeah,
was not very high. They could not afford to really show it in a bright setting. They
but
needed to keep it dark.
that's why I gotta say, for the budget for this movie, it looks really good. Like it looks amazing. Like that's what I gotta say. It didn't have a great budget, and again, this is right around the time where people wouldn't do superhero movies or anything like this. Like it's like saying RoboCop didn't have good special effects because that back in the day. Yeah, Darkman, I would say, is actually still one of those movies that still has some good special effects. I think it was really well done.
I'll still take practical effects over CG any day. I mean, I believe CG. If this was made
Fucking
today, they'd
amen,
have no
brother.
reason to. Well, maybe just to enhance it, but did have no reason to completely animate anything. The script would not
Amen,
call for it.
brother. It's not amen. You know what? I don't mind CG when it's done right, but I don't want to see it non-stops. It gets a little practical. Like the Mortal Kombat with Goro, for example, was the new Mortal Kombat of Goro was just. Ugh.
I have not seen that
Anyway,
yet.
I'm not gonna say anymore. I wasn't. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anymore. Anyway, let us get to the next big one, the story. What did you think of the story?
Um, I honestly, it's not a strong story, but it's not. I feel like it. I really don't know. I did not. I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like the characters are just. I didn't get a chance to really like them. Like I didn't. It's like, oh, his girlfriend. It's like, oh, yeah, she's there just to be the girlfriend. She didn't really have much. Oh, yeah, she's like what, an attorney or something.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. I can't even actually. This funny thing is I kind of don't,
Yeah, it's like
kind of don't know.
they're
It's
cut.
weird on that one.
They're characters. They're like copy paste characters you've seen in other stuff before. Like you've got
Yeah,
the business guy with the shady operations going on. He's got his henchmen,
don't
which
take too much, eh? Yeah.
okay, you've you've got the well, the only thing I can say is that this is a revenge story. It's like
This is a revenge story. I think it's actually a decent revenge story, but it's not a good story. It is hit for again the phrase comic book like. And back in the day, when this came out, that was very interesting and very fascinating.
this is a movie
It's
that
becoming
I need to, if I feel like it, I need to watch again to process everything because it's just the characters, like I said, are copy paste.
honestly,
Music is copy paste. There's a lot of
if you
copy
think this
pasting
is an
going on.
acid trip, if you think this is an acid trip, after you get your two picks and we do Barbarian Month, the next movie.
Oh man,
Oh God, I got a movie for you. It's gonna fuck you up.
damn.
Oh yeah, I got my pick. I got a perfect pick for you. It's one of the craziest movies I ever saw.
Okay then.
Okay,
So,
so what are we gonna rate this one?
dude, I don't know. I'm gonna have to. I don't know what to give this. If I give it a low score, it's gonna suggest I hate it. If I give it a high score, people are gonna think I like it. But it's like this movie left no impact on me, to be perfectly honest. So this is a no
Okay,
rating.
no rating. If you had no impact, you could say it's average. It's a 5. I would say it had an impact because I'm a fan of stuff like Punisher, The Shadow, The Phantom, Batman, stuff like that. This gets a little bit of a higher rating. Like I would say a 6, maybe even a 7. But because I have the nostalgia goggles, which I do admit there are nostalgia goggles. I saw this when I was a little kid. This is probably the first movie I ever rented because I saw this guy and this big fire and this guy in this weird trench coat with looked like a mummy, and that's like to me that was my first ever rental.
It looks like a
So
horror movie if you
probably
were to look at it. If you saw a VHS cover.
oh, I saw the VHS cover and that's what made me pick it up. I would say there's this and one other movie. They're up. I rented two movies. It was this movie and The Invisible. I think I rented The Invisible Man. They're the very first time I ever got my paycheck. Very first, like so. To me, it's a sentimental value. So I'm gonna say a 7.9 just for that fact. I'm not gonna lie. I'm being a little biased on the matter. It would probably be about a 7 or 6.9, but because this was my very first rental, this gets a little higher rating.
Okay then.
So yeah, so we got a I have no idea what the hell I just watched, and a 7.9. Again, I got a couple movies for you after you. There's the movies I'm going to be showing you next. They're going to be like the Barbarian month's going to be fun because like Jesus fuck if you're having a problem with this one, I don't know what you're going to think of the Barbarian month.
I have to be honest. I know that Sam Raimi is famous for horror movies, but I haven't really watched them because I'm not a big horror fan. But he's done Spider-Man, which I've watched, and then I've watched this, and this is like I was already not interested in his works from that point on. At least not his.
Mhm.
I mean, I will check out some of his horror stuff later because I'm told they're classics, and I like to check out older stuff, depending on their status as classics or not, or something like that. But outside of that, it's like no, Sam Raimi, you're on my list of directors to avoid, along with Michael Bay, Zack Snyder, and yeah, those two I avoid like the plague. Yes, I
Okay,
avoid
well I
Zack
understand
Snyder.
that. Hey man, you do you. So what? So you get the next two movies. So what are the next two movies coming up?
I really haven't decided yet, but I might
Well,
consider for you to check out the Wild Geese if we're
the
lucky.
Wild Geese.
Yep,
Okay, we'll have to find. I'll have to find it and see if I can get a copy of it. And what was the other one?
that I haven't decided yet. I really don't know.
Okay, well, give me a pick, or we do Barbarian month early. All right, man. All right, thank you very much, everybody. If you like what you see, like, subscribe. I don't just do cat videos.
Cat videos are good. The only videos on the internet that have more views than porn.
Yeah, pretty much. Alrighty, everyone. You have yourselves a very good one. Check out Dark Sharingan. There'll be links in this video to his stuff. If not, I there's links in the other videos. I sometimes forget. So, all right, everyone. Have yourselves a very good day, and keep looking for those movies, boys and girls. You never know what you'll find.